Hi, in this video we are going to discover the Microsoft Bot Framework application structure. As I told you before, when you create a bot using the bot application template, it basically creates an ASP.NET Web API project which contains all the bot framework SDKs and all supporting files. So if we take a look at the project structure and if we expand the properties item here, we can see that it contains a C# file called assembly info. So this file, assemblyinfo.cs, stores all information about the application assembly, such as name, description, version number, loaded assemblies, and other information. We are not going to list all the information contained within this file. So the next thing is the references item here. If we expand it, we can see all those references that our application need. So here we can see all the required references for the ASP.NET application, along with 4 new references for the bot framework. So the 4 references for the bot framework are Microsoft.bot.builder, Microsoft.bot.builder.autofac, Microsoft.bot.builder.extensions, and Microsoft.bot.connector. So the most important are Microsoft.bot.connector and Microsoft.bot.builder. So what is the Microsoft.bot.builder? So the Microsoft Bot Builder SDK provides a very powerful feature for developing bots. With it, we can build freeform interactive bots as well as guided bots where features are shown to the user, and we will talk about that later. The second one, which is the Microsoft .bot.connector. So this one provides the bot framework connector REST API services, which will be used for providing communication between your bot and many communication channels such as Skype, Slack, Facebook, and so on. And inside those channels, for example, we will be using our bot we will integrate our bot inside Facebook Messenger, for example, or Skype, etc. So next, if we open the AppStar folder, we can see that we have the web API config.cs. So if we open it, it is a static file. It is a static class, So this class provides the information for web API related configuration, including specific web API routes, services, and other settings. So for example, if we take the routes configuration, we can see it. So those few lines will help us to configure our routes, etc., etc. Okay, so next we will open the controllers folder, and inside it we will find messages controller. So if we open it, so this is a class, a simple class that inherit from API controller. So for those who are familiar with ASP.NET Web API, this keyword here will be familiar to them, because web API controllers, when you create a web API application, our controller will inherit from the API controller. So this is a simple web API controller. This class is a simple web API controller. So if we want to give it a more formal definition, this class, which is the messages controller, will handle communication between the bot and the user. This class contains a bot message, post, not bot. So this class here contains a post method. So this method will accept user messages, will process them, and reply back with an appropriate message. So if you observe closely here, we can see this annotation here, bot authentication. So this class has an annotation or attribute, if you can call it attributes, called bot authentication, which means that only the bot can access the messages controller API. The bot authentication decoration on the method is used to validate your bot connector credential over HTTPS. This means that when we publish our service to a server, the messages API can be accessed by the bot framework only from where our bot was registered. For now, we will jump the dialogues folder and the root dialog file, and we will speak about it later. For now, let's see the default.html file, which is a simple HTML file. So this one contains the default welcome page of our bot service, which will be displayed when we open the URL of the bot service. So next we have the packages.config file. So this file contains information about the references or packages used in our project, which will be helpful at the time of restoring those packages. So as you can see, we have a packages tag which contain child tags which are called package, and every package has an ID and a version and a target framework for the .NET framework. So this is our packages.config file. And finally we have the most important file here, which is the web.config file. So this one is very important indeed, and it will hold all the required settings, information about your application, which helps you to modify any settings of those settings here in the application without deploying the project again. And this file contains 3 new settings which are specific for the bot application, for the Microsoft bot application project. The first one is the bot ID, the second one is Microsoft app ID, and the last one is Microsoft app password. So the first setting is the bot ID. So this is the ID generated at the time of registering your bot at a specific URL. So the URL is, I'm gonna show it in the I'm gonna put it inside in the video description, and it is https dev.botframework.com, and this ID will help you to identify your bot. The second one is the Microsoft app ID. So this one also is generated at the time of registering your bot at the previous URL that I mentioned. And finally we have the Microsoft application or Microsoft app password. So this one we have to generate it after creating the Microsoft app ID. It is very important and provide bot authentication to your messages controller class. These 3 are the keys that will be used by the bot authentication class at the time of authenticating a request, so that all requests are received. The bot framework only accepts those from your bot. Not bot, it's a bot. So this way the connector service will communicate to your user and respective channels. To get these values, you must log in to your dev.botframework.com account that is shown on the screen. So the link will be shown on the screen and in the video description. You must select the appropriate bot if it is already registered. If it is not, you must register a new bot, and you must copy the bot ID, the Microsoft ID, and the Microsoft app password from that site, and I will show you how to do it later in later videos. So this was all about the bot application project structure. In the next video we will start writing some code, and we will create our first bot using the Microsoft bot framework. So if you like this tutorial, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more tutorials, and see you in the next video.